A very popular East Honolulu trail will be closed tomorrow, and officials want to make sure the public is aware.
Nate Sirota from the city's Parks and Recreation Department joins us now live from the Coco Crater Trail with more. Good morning, Nate.
Aloha kakahiaka. Good morning, Sarah.
With us. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Tell us what's planned and why the trail needs to be closed.
Sure. So we're actually going to be doing repairs to the bunkers atop the summit, where we're going to be sealing off the entry points to the main bunker there. And we're going to need the trail closed because we're going to be utilizing a helicopter, a contracted helicopter service, in order to transport some of the materials to the summit. So in order for us to do that work, it should be relatively quick, but we need to make sure that there's absolutely nobody on the trail while we do that work. So we're going to be closed from 11 p.m. tonight until 12 noon tomorrow.
The closure actually begins, like you said, tonight. Will residents in the area hear any work being done, like the helicopters coming down?
They definitely will hear the helicopter, absolutely, yes. So the staff, the work that they're going to be doing at the top shouldn't be too much noise, but absolutely the helicopter will be heard. You know, it'll be very similar to when the Honolulu Fire Department does a rescue. It's going to be similar amount of noise. It probably will be a little bit less than that because I imagine the transport will take less time than a rescue that would happen from a hiker on the Tramway Trail.
All right, Nate Sirota with the city's Department of Parks and Recreation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you so much for that update. A very popular East Honolulu trail will be closed tomorrow, and officials want to make sure the public is aware.
Nate Sirota from the city's Parks and Recreation Department joins us now live from the Coco Crater Trail. Thanks so much for joining us, Nate.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
So tell us what's planned and why the trail needs to be closed.
Absolutely. So we're going to be closing on the regular park closure hours tonight at 11 o'clock, and we're going to extend that closure into 12 noon tomorrow, basically to allow a chartered helicopter service to transport materials to the summit of the trail so that we can seal the main bunker at the top of the Coco Crater Tramway.
So the helicopter is coming in overnight. Can you tell us what residents in the area can expect in terms of like noise disturbance?
So the helicopter will be operating tomorrow morning. We're just having the closure start during the normal park closure hours at 11 o'clock. Residents in the area can expect the chopper to be operating starting around 8 o'clock or so. And we hope the work that they do can be quick, but we wanted to give that large time frame of the entire morning to make sure that we had enough of a window in order to transport the materials up there. Because again, you know, there's a lot of clearance that we need to do with the FAA and a lot of things that need to go into using a helicopter to transport materials to the summit. So we want to make sure that we utilize this opportunity, and in order for that to happen, we need to make sure that everyone is off the trail when we use the helicopter to transport materials.
Nate, we're looking at video right now of a previous closure of the trail where there was, you know, signage postage, there were some barriers placed, but people passed by it, and I quote one of the people we talked to, one of the visitors said, "We saw it, we just don't care." Is there anything else the city and county is doing to make sure people don't access the trail at this time?
Yeah, you know, we can get the message out as much as possible, and some people just don't listen. So we're actually going to have Honolulu Police here to assist with the closure, and you can get cited. So we're going to be very serious about this closure because if there are people on the trail, that's going to delay the work that needs to be done, and it's going to add quite a significant amount of costs in order for us to be able to utilize that helicopter again. So again, just for tomorrow morning, please find another way to get your morning exercise. There's plenty of other beautiful hiking trails around the island, and then we'll hopefully be able to get the work done quickly, but we just need cooperation from everyone to make sure that there is nobody on the trail tomorrow morning while we have the helicopter in air.
Yeah, well said. There's been so much work up there, both from the city and county as well as Coconut Coalition. Any other areas of concerns at the top of the trail? I think a lot of people didn't even know this shaft existed.
Sure. So there's actually going to be a few other things that we're utilizing or that we're going to be getting done while we have this closure. There's a beehive that has taken residence in one of the wooden columns on the bridge on the Tramway Trail. So we're going to try and remove the queen and make sure that there's no more remnant bees over there. This happens from time to time. The bees like to take up home on the that wooden bridge there. But this is basically going to be the main purpose of this closure is to transport the materials again for sealing that main bunker atop Coco Crater.
Yeah, I've seen those bees. We're looking at a video right now of a lady fighting off those bees. Yeah, that's definitely been something that hikers have ran into in the past. So thank you very much to the city and county for taking care of that, as well as the issues at the top. Nate, thank you so much for stopping by with us this morning and sharing all this wonderful info. A very popular East Honolulu trail will be closed tomorrow, and officials want to make sure the public is aware.
Nate Sirota from the city's Parks and Recreation Department joins us now live from the Cocoa Crater Trail with more. Good morning, Nate.
Hey, good morning, Sarah.
So tell us what's planned and why the trail needs to close.
Absolutely. So we're going to be closing the trail in order to utilize the helicopter to transport materials to the summit of the trail in order to close off the main bunker that's up there. And so we need to make sure that everyone is off the trail tomorrow morning so that we can effectively transport that material up to the summit.
So what can residents expect in terms of noise disturbance?
So it'll be a helicopter. It should just be one trip. It should start around 8 o'clock or so, maybe about 7:30. And it really should be very similar noise to if there was a rescue on the trail and the Honolulu Fire Department was using their Air One rescue unit. So again, hopefully this is done quickly. There's no one on the trail and we can just get the materials up there in one trip. But again, if there are people on the trail, then that's going to cause delays. And that's also going to add extra cost to the whole project. So really, we want to emphasize to please avoid the Tramway Trail tomorrow morning. And it's a beautiful hike, but there's a lot of other trails in the area. The Makapu'u Lighthouse Trail is a great example. So we want to make sure that we have the trail clear so that we can get that chopper working properly and safely and get that material up to the summit.
You folks cleared that trail over the summer when you were working to help out with this shaft that an 8-year-old boy had fallen into. During that time, there were signage posted. There was also some caution tape right there. We talked to some visitors who went up the trail that day and went past it, and they said, yeah, we saw it. We just didn't care. Is the city and county doing anything else to stop people from going up the trail tomorrow?
Yeah, unfortunately, you can put as many signs up and you can notify people as much ahead of time, and they're still not going to follow the rules. To that regard, we are going to be partnering up with the Honolulu Police Department to see if we can have someone stationed at the bottom or periodically checking the trailhead to make sure that no one's up there. So you could get cited. It's really not worth it going up tomorrow in that regard. And so we really want to make sure that that trail is clear. Luckily, it is just going to be a short-term closure. It is just for tomorrow morning. So again, hopefully the hikers and the hiking community can understand that this is something that needs to be done, and that the sooner that we can get it done, the quicker we can get it back open, and we won't have any more delays or need for use of a helicopter on this project.
This hike is massively popular now. It's gained in popularity. And the rehabilitation of the trail from the city and county, as well as Coconut Coalition, the group, has made a massive improvement. Any other areas of concern, whether it be at the top or along the trail, that you folks are working on?
Yeah, thank you for that question. The Coconut Coalition has done a Herculean effort and done an amazing job renovating the trail. Really an immense amount of kudos and props to them on that. For this closure, we are actually utilizing the opportunity to take care of a beehive that's in the wooden bridge that's in the middle of the tramway. So we are not just utilizing it for the closure just to transport materials up with the helicopter, but we are doing some other maintenance on the tramway as well.
Yeah, we're looking at some of the bees right now. If folks have hiked that trail, you get to the bridge, not only you got to look down. Some people are afraid of heights. Yeah, those bees can be a problem, too. We're looking at a lady who's trying to avoid the bees right there flying near her face. Nate, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thanks for sharing the message. A very popular East Honolulu trail will be closed tomorrow, and officials want to make sure the public is aware.
Nate Sirota from the city's Parks and Recreation Department joins us now live from the Cocoa Crater Trail with more. Good morning, Nate.
Aloha kakahiaka. Good morning, Sarah.
So tell us what's planned and why does the city need to close the trail?
Sure. So starting tomorrow, we're going to be closing the tramway for a few hours in order for our chartered helicopter company to come in and transport some materials to the summit of the trail in order for us to effectively seal off the main bunker of the trail.
I can see that there's a lot of people early this morning on the trail right now hiking. Can you tell us what residents in the area can expect in terms of noise disturbance? Because I know that you're going to bring a helicopter to bring in materials. Do you know, can you tell us if it's like one drop or several drops to the summit?
We're hoping that it's just going to be that one drop around the 7:30, 8 o'clock time frame. Hopefully the chopper noise will be very similar to what they hear if there's a rescue on the trail. So when the Honolulu Fire Department has their Air 1 conductor rescue, that actually the chopper tends to be here for quite a bit amount of time. This one, they're going to be staging at the baseball field, transporting materials to the summit, and then that should be it. So hopefully we can get it done with this one trip. But again, that really relies on the fact that there's going to be no one on the trail at the time. If there is anyone on here, that's not only going to delay it time-wise, but it's also going to add a significant amount of cost to this project. So really, we strongly urge people for tomorrow morning, please hike somewhere else for the time being so that we can get this done quickly and safely.
Nate, you folks closed the trail over the summer for a day to seal up some of these shafts that were up there at the bunkers. And during that time, we sent a reporter out there who ran into some visitors who were hiking up the trail, and they said they saw the signs, they saw everything, but they just chose to ignore it. Are you doing anything else to make sure folks don't go up there tomorrow?
Yeah, unfortunately, no matter how much messaging and how many closure signs and how many barricades you put up, people are still going to get around the rules. So we actually are partnering up with the Honolulu Police Department to have some officers either patrolling or here at the trailhead, and you could get cited. Again, we are very serious about keeping people off the tramway tomorrow morning because we want to be able to transport these materials up there. The amount of barricades that we were able to put up for the time being are only temporary. So what we're going to be doing starting tomorrow morning is more permanent metal bars that are closing off that main bunker area. So it's work that needs to be done, and we're really fortunate to be able to do it with our in-house crews and with a charter company that's giving us a pretty good rate. But that cost is going to go up significantly if we do have people on the trail, and there is going to be a time delay. So we strongly urge people, again, please do not hike the trail tomorrow morning. There's going to be a lot of other options. You can go to the Makapu'u Lighthouse Trail in the morning. It's a beautiful sunrise. But just for tomorrow morning, avoid the Cocoa Crater Tramway.
Anything else on the trail that you folks are concerned about for people out there who are hiking? Maybe, of course, not tomorrow, but in the future?
Yeah, so we are actually using this closure opportunity to also address a beehive that has taken residence on the main bridge, the wooden bridge that's about halfway up the tramway. So we're going to be taking care of that along with transporting the materials up to the summit. So the closure isn't just for the chopper work, but we're also utilizing the opportunity to relocate the beehive that's there. And unfortunately, the bees come and go from that wooden bridge, as a lot of tramway hikers will tell you.
Yeah, if the citations and the warnings don't get you to not go on the trail, maybe the swarm of angry bees potentially out there losing their queen will do it. Nate, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us all those wonderful details.